YouTube, what's up, man? Where have I been? It's been such a long time. My fans have been reaching out to me on all my other videos and saying, where have you been? I'm just kidding. No one's reaching out. No one gives a shit. I don't feel the love. Anyway, Big H Trucking, thanks for stopping by. I'm sitting here just on the other side of Joplin at the Road Ranger. Beautiful place. Concrete, all concreted out. I just got a delivery this morning at the in Oklahoma. I love to pronounce the word, but they're all Indian names, and I don't want to butcher it. But first time being at the receiver, I don't mention where I go. I don't mention names. I know others do, but let's just say it's a very big company that people shop at all the time. Why haven't I made any videos? Because, to be honest with you, I'm not a YouTuber. I just really started just a YouTube channel just to kind of journal my journey, if that makes any sense. So this way I can look back in a few years, with 5-10 years, and say, oh man, I remember going through Chattanooga, or I remember going up Donner's Pass. I remember going this, that, and the other place. And for my family and friends to say, that was you big-headed dope, driving that truck. But anyway, and I've been watching, I do, follow, people who work with the same company I do. And, and especially when this whole camera situation developed, or unfolded, I should say. And at first, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Just when, I really like the company I work for, and they're so good, and, I don't get involved in the politics, and, I don't make my way to the terminal. The only time I really go to the terminal is if there's an issue with a trailer, or I go on home time. My home, if you haven't heard, my home base is Pittston. It's where I drop off my truck, bring my car, shuttle back and forth. But anyway, getting back to that, so I started, listening to what other people were saying, that, I'm quitting, this is not right, this is that, that's this, that, and I'm right alongside of it. But I said, as an older person, I used to base a lot of my thinking off emotions, and that always got me in trouble. Always got me in trouble. It cost me a couple of jobs when I was younger, because I would fly off the handle in 3 seconds. I don't know if it comes across on the video, but I'm a New Yorker, and I'm very boisterous, and I can be very loud, and especially if something doesn't go my way, I can fly off the handle in 13 seconds. Just as some people have fuel islands. I don't take shit from nobody. Anyway, I'm not trying to be a dick here. What I'm trying to say is this. I decided to take a step back and let time run its course, and wanted to get Prime's reasoning for the installation of cameras. And I hate to say it, but I kind of agree with them. Like, the technology's here. Why wouldn't they do it? And the reason why they're doing it is really based on the fact that Wookie just said it Friday. They're averaging between 2 and 5 handheld device tickets per week, when their competitors are getting a fraction of that per week. And if new business is based on their CSA scores, and or renewing contracts is based on CSA scores, and shippers take a look at it, especially the big ones. I'm not talking about like Joe's Food Supply. I'm talking about the big boys, the beasts. And if we're losing contracts because of that, and we're not getting new business because of that, then Prime is going to go out of business, and then we're not going to have a home. We're not going to have a place to drive. We're going to have to find other jobs. And that's what people are tending to do right now. People have quit. People are quitting. People are leaving like in droves, and that's all good. You know, just more freight for those who stay behind. From what I gather from the information I'm relaying the same information you're probably hearing. It only works when the key is on. It's only pointed in your direction. All the other videos are blurred out. It's encrypted. Nobody can download it. Nobody can get their hands on it. I have to believe them. Whether you want to believe them or not, I have to believe that the company I work for is not doing this to invade your privacy, but it's doing this to make you a better driver. Knowing that there's eyes upon you, are you going to grab that cell phone? You know, I'm not 100% sure that it's going to stop everybody, but let me tell you something. If you do it, it's going to give you a warning. Apparently, that's what they're saying. Gives you a first warning to take distracted driving. If you do it again, it shoots the film, shoots the video, and off to safety, and the fleet manager they make their decision based on that. What I understand now is that they're doing the first 300. They're almost at full capacity. They're going to shut it down. Well, not shut it down, but they're going to stop installing videos and see how the 300 drivers with the cameras facing in is performing, and if there's any glitches, whatever. So you're saying 12 to 16 months, 12 to 18 months before all the trucks are getting cameras in there. I would say it's probably, knowing it's big and how big an undertaking is, it's not something that, you know, can happen overnight. A, it costs money, and B, there's an infrastructure that needs to be behind this. So it's not going to be as easy as they say it is going to be. But unfortunately, it is coming. Unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but we did it to ourselves. We as not just Prime, but we as a group of drivers did it to ourselves. I mean, why do you think we have electronic logs? It's because people were caught, you know, using cocaine and methamphetamine and driving for 4 days before they finally, you know, flew off the road and hurt somebody or killed somebody. You know, things, all our rules and regulations that happen in our society are based on stupid shit. I get it. People have never driven a truck make rules. People who've never done anything, you know, that pertain to some of our laws have no idea what they're writing. They just listen and hear and say, okay, let's react and make these laws. I get all that. But something has to be done. And Prime's trying to protect their own backside. Take Prime out of it. Put yourself into it. You're running a trucking company, and every week you're getting these tickets, and you can't really fire these people. I mean, you don't want to fire them. You want them, because it's not easy finding help. At the end of the day, if anybody's ever run a business, you know how damn hard it is to find good help. And when you get that, and somebody, especially in this day and age, all right, let me just stop right there. In this day and age, it's hard to find good help. Back when I was a youngster, you did something like that, you were gone immediately, and your seat was filled the next second. Today it's a little more tougher. So if you got some good drivers that, okay, they made a boo-boo, they got a ticket, okay, we'll look the other way. But, you know, when the same group of individuals get that same ticket more often than not, I'm not saying it happens every week, but, you know, they've had 2 or 3 incidences where they got caught doing the same thing. Unfortunately, luck sucks. Their luck sucks. But problems like, we've had enough. What are our options? And I'm sure it wasn't something that they were, you know, decided to wake up one day and decide to install them. This was something that was probably, obviously, from what I hear, ongoing talks for a long time. Like, we need to do something about this. And they finally got the answer to it. And like I said, at first I was heartbroken. I really like working for Prime. I like their loads. I really like working for my fleet manager. Let me back up. Prime is just the name, the company that I work for and my fleet manager works for. I don't have a relationship with Rob Lowe or Steve Wookie or any of those upper management guys, people. I have a relationship with my fleet manager. My fleet manager and I have a great relationship. And to the point where if he left, I think, and I'm not sure, I want to say this, I think I might leave. I might start looking for another role, but then where am I going to go, right? Fine. Because every time you start over. You start from the bottom, you work your way up. I've been with Prime now for almost 5 years, and I developed a good relationship with my guy. My guy knows me, I know him. He knows what to expect, I know what to expect. And I hate for anything to happen to our relationship. But my first thought when they put the cameras in was like, fuck it, you know what? I'll just take my truck to another company. I'll find a company that's willing to make the payments weekly, just like I do now. And there are companies that you can take your truck to that will be more than happy to cut the check to Success Leasing every week and move on. Perfect example of that is, I don't know if you follow him, but his name is David H. And him and his wife were driving, husband and wife drivers for Prime for many years, and they decided to go to another company, and they found a company that's willing to do that. That's an option that I was thinking of. I was like, all right, you know what? I still got 5 years left. I love driving. I love the freedom that it brings, even though now with the camera, are we really free? And the answer is no. But you got to ask yourself, is this question, is the country that we live in really free? And the answer is that's up for you to decide. For me, that I've gone through and seen where it was and where it is today, the answer is our freedoms are being eroded each and every year. But that's another story for another day. So you can do that. You have that option. But again, I know I'm talking around like I'm talking in circles here. I tend to do that. I'm not a good vlogger. But Prime's got to do what Prime's got to do to protect themselves and their business, right? And I'm okay with that. Because if they put a camera in my truck, if and when they put a camera in my truck, God willing, I'm still here and I'm still healthy and I still want to do this, let them. I've got nothing to hide. It'll probably make me more focused. No, and the answer is, I'm not going to volunteer to put a camera in my truck. I mean, I don't want to, because I never gave him any reason for that, to do that. But if one of the requirements is for you to work at Prime in 3 years, that you have to have a front-facing camera, then so be it. It is what it is. I'm not going to, jump off the roof like some of these other people have gone off the reservation. It's like, okay, so you go to another company. I don't know. I'm getting a whole cross section of people who are just tired of, and the family atmosphere of Prime is long gone. Then you get another group that say the money sucks, leasing is a scam, but yet you were there for 4 years. When you were making big money back then, it wasn't a scam. Now all of a sudden it's a scam today, which doesn't make any sense. And then the other reason is I'm leaving because my privacy is being invaded. Okay, and you're entitled to your own opinions and your own feelings, but again, I think you're basing that off of your emotions, and usually when you make decisions on an emotional level, they're always bad decisions. At least for me, they were. Will it or will it not make you a better driver? And the answer is probably will. The people that are in uproar about it right now, is it really about their privacy, or is it about what they're doing inside that truck when that truck is rolling down the road? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there into the universe. I know for a fact that I talk to one person while I'm driving, as long as we're on the same schedule, but I have an earpiece. Other than that, my phone sits where it sits and doesn't get touched ever. So I know I'm a bit. Now, I'm going to incriminate myself, so be it. But we're all human. We all touched our phones. We all picked them up. We looked at it. I see it going down the road basically every day, whether it's a four-wheeler or a trucker, looking at their phone. But now it's going to force you cannot touch that phone. If you need to touch that phone, you have to pull over on the side of the road. And what's so hard about pulling over on the side of the road, not on the side of the road, but to a rest area or to a place where it's safe to pull over, if it's that important? What does it take? 3 minutes? 2 minutes? A minute? I'm not leaving Prime because Prime's got the freight. I've talked about this 1,000 times. Prime's got the freight. I love my fleet manager. We work well together. I still love my freedom, even though, my freedoms are being, kind of diminished as time goes on, but that's throughout the world nowadays. The reason why I like trucking so much, and I went to be a trucker, is to see the country, and I've seen that, so I get it. So it's not so much of that now, but it's no one breaking my balls. At the end of the day, no one's breaking my balls. And I emphasize that because I was in corporate America for a long time. And the ball breaking, the meetings, the conference calls, the quarterlies, the monthlies, I'm looking for the right word here. Your expectations deviate from month to month. The quotas, the craziness, the sleepless nights, the fake facade. And yes, it's all because the money is good, right? At the end of the day, it's all about the money. Anything in life, folks, if you haven't figured this out yet, everything is about the money. Everything about the money. It all boils down to somebody's getting rich, somebody's getting richer. It's all about the money, no matter where you go. So, it's hard for me to leave this industry, being that I feel young. I'm still healthy. So, because I got another 5-6 years to go before my girl, I don't know, we'll see what happens with that, but as of right now, we're good. And she's quite younger than me, and we want to retire, and we want to retire, to a place somewhere nice and quiet, have our own property, our own home, and never have to worry about, the bottom line is I never have to worry about money. I'm trying to get to my number to retire based on 20 years at $50,000 a year spending is $2.5 million. That's what you need for 20 years to not have to worry about paying bills. If you don't think it's that, you think, wow, that's a lot of money, but that's the reality. And that's just for today. The way they print money, the way inflation is going up, I'm not here to give you a financial class, but the rate of inflation is nearly 10% a year. So it's even more than that if I live 20 years. I could live 3 months, I don't know, but you have to base it on from 65 to 85. I don't want to be working. I don't want to have to march to somebody's tunes. And I don't have to march to somebody's tunes in trucking. And that's what the attraction is for me. So I'm going off on a tangent. I get it. After a long thinking process, listening to these people vent, talk about, listen to Prime, listening still goes on. I'm cool with it. Prime, do what you got to do, man. Do what you've got to do, because I've got nothing to hide. I am not worried. I'm not concerned, because I believe my driving is on that next level. Is there room for improvement? There's always room for improvement. And again, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I want Prime to be the company, to be there for the next generation. I want them to carry on the legacy of them being the largest refrigerated carriers in the country. Them getting the business with the big boys, not the small Joe's meats, but the big boys, and continue to keep those relationships long after Rob Lowe is gone. And the way it's going now, I don't know, this is not factual, this is just my thinking, that these new companies, or even extending contracts or renewing contracts, is based on a CSA score. And if Prime comes up dirty, continuously have a low CSA score, these companies might be like, well, we can't take that risk. It's all, at the end of the day, it all comes down to insurances. Insurance. And it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be in the next 5 years that, okay, I'm jumping out of Prime. The next thing you know, you go to company B, and the next thing you know, they making the announcements that starting, in January 2025 or 26, whatever, we're going to start outfitting all our trucks with cameras. And that's going to go along the industry. And it's going to be the fact, well, fuck it, I'm just going to buy my own little truck. Oh, now you can't get insurance unless you have an inward-facing camera, because the insurance doesn't want to take responsibility and pay out millions of dollars if you wreck somebody and it turns out that you're on your cell phone, or you were looking down at the floor, or you were doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Now, we all do something we shouldn't be doing while we're driving. Can we agree on that? Before I get beaten up by you guys, we all do something we shouldn't be doing. Maybe not every day, maybe not every week, but somewhere along the line, we're all doing something we're going to do. So let the camera tell me, hey, no, it's distraction. Gives me the time to correct the mistake before the video goes to prime time. That's what they're telling me anyway. The video gets shot only after it gives you a warning. Okay, gotcha. And I'm going to talk to the camera like I'm talking to you. Like I'm talking to you. Hey, okay, Mr. AI. Well, you can name your camera, whatever you want to name. Peggy, John, Felix, whatever you want to name it. That's your camera. Okay, Mr. Felix, whatever. Straighten your shit out and you go down the road, you deliver your package, everything. I mean, you deliver your goods and everything is good, you're safe. But the bottom line is the company needs to be safe. We need to be safe. Too many people are getting hurt. I go to Prime's terminals, not that I do it all the time, but when I do, there's a different truck that's mangled. I'm saying to myself, did that person live? I don't know. I hope they lived. God, man, they had some carnage there. Hopefully it was just done to themselves. Like, God forbid, anything ever happens, something happens to me, and I get into this bad accident, I hope it's just me, myself, and I. I hope I'm empty, I don't fuck around with somebody's freight, and I don't hurt nobody else. That's what I hope. In a perfect world, that's what if it's going to happen, that's the way I want it to happen. That's not always the case, right? Especially if you drive during the day. If you drive during the day, there's more chances of more cars, more trucks, more construction there. Especially in today's day and age with all the construction that's going on in this country. Oh, Lord, my Lord, I don't know how you guys drive during the day. And sometimes you have to. Sometimes I'm forced to drive during the day because that's just the way it goes. But at the end of the day, it's all about Prime wants you to be safe. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm an ass. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. But that's just my view, my opinion. So I'm okay with it now. I'm okay with it. So I figured I can go public with this because this is public, and I'm not taking one side or the other. I'm just saying this is where we are today in the world we live in. We're surrounded by this stuff, and it was just a matter of time before a company as big as Prime was going to do it. It's just a matter of time before Stevens Transport does it, or Werner, or Swift, or Tom G, or something. It's going to happen. Sorry, folks. There's no escaping it. Otherwise, don't go in trucking. Go in a different direction. Because it's here, and get used to it. See, as the new crop of drivers come into it, they're familiar and they're accustomed to it. It's not going to be burdensome as it is with us. Because we're free right now, or we're freer. But on the flip side of all this, I hope I'm the last one to get the camera installed in my truck. And I hope A lot of us are. The ones that drive down the road safely and do our jobs, that's within our job description. I hope we're the last ones to get installed. But I'm okay. Does that make any sense? I want to be the last one to get installed, but I'm okay when that happens. I hope it does. I mean, that again, this is just Big H. This is just my views. And you're more than welcome to critique them. You're more than welcome to bash me. I don't care, because I still, at the end of the day, own Bitcoin and Ethereum and many, many others. That's where my money goes. Why? Because I want to retire. 20 million %. Bitcoin's accrued 20 million % since its inception. All right, I don't want to go off on that in that world, but that's where I have to worry about retirement. I have to worry about the next golden years. I don't want to be, and unfortunately, I spoke to a guy at Pittston when I came back from home time. He's 71 years old. He's been in trucking for 53 years. 53 years, 71. So when are you going to retire? He's like, never. I'm going to die in a truck. Wow. That's not me, man. No. I want to go see the sandy beaches. I want to go to Mexico. I want to go to Spain. I want to go to Europe. I want to go to South America. I want to see this planet a little bit more. I've done some traveling in my younger age, but it's time for me to go do. I want to do that. I never want to worry about my cell phone bill, my insurance bill, or I don't want that. I'm saving, I'm doing all this investing, so I buy property in a house and I have no mortgage. Worry about a tax bill. That's where my thinking is. Somebody who's 25 years old ain't thinking like that. They're thinking, okay, I need to work for the next 20 years. And hopefully you do. Hopefully you start investing your money at an early age. And, the Michael Jordan sneakers and all that fancy Louis Vuitton shit is nothing but garbage at the end of the day. That's just a liability. It's not an asset. It looks cool. I know. Hey, listen, I got it. I get it. I know. You got people to impress. I get it. And that's the difference between being older and versus being younger. We all have to go through those stages. But those who get it sooner than later often retire very wealthy and not have to worry about working for a company that they may not agree to their terms. So, and I don't want to, personally speaking, I don't want to bounce around. I don't want to go to this company, start all over on the bottom of the floor. Yeah, just because I got my own truck, I still got to start. They don't know me from Adam. Okay, yeah, it says on my DAC I've been with the company Prime for 4 and 5 years, whatever. No tickets, no accidents, no nothing. Okay, great, but they still don't know me, so I got to start shoveling crap again. No, I built a relationship. Things are working fine. If they put a camera in my truck, I'm not gonna leave. You can leave. That's fine. But that's one more load for Big H. But no, you have to do what you have to do. In your hearts of hearts, at the end of the day, you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I doing the right thing? And if this is too upsetting and it's just eating you alive, then you got to go, right? Because you're going to come here and you're going to be pissing, moaning, and groaning. And that negativity is going to carry through the customers, Prime's customers. It's going to be carried through your fleet manager and everybody else. And nobody wants that. And it's not fair to anybody else. You think my fleet manager wants to deal with, now he's got to look at cameras? I'm sure he doesn't, but that's now his role. I'm sure it's like that for a lot of people. So we have to adapt, improvise, and overcome. Just another pair of eyes on you, folks, while you're doing your job. I had cameras on me when I was in the office. I call in the office many times. What are you doing? So I appreciate you stopping by and listening to my rumblings, whether you believe it or not, or agree with it or not. That's fine. That's why, you know, we have what we call opinions. You have your own opinion. But I hope, you know, I guess the message in all of this is, think about it. Don't do judgment calls based on emotions. You know, listen to what your inner soul says, not what John or Phil or Tim or Mary or Stacy, or not what they say, because their lives, they're different than you are. And like I said, if it's too much, you move on. But just be forewarned that inevitably you're going to stay in trucking, and this is what you're going to call home. It's going to come. It's going to come everywhere. It usually starts with the big boys and it trickles its way down. It's the way it goes in the world we live in. All right, I wish you all the success, all the luck, and thanks for stopping by Big H Trucking, man. Peace out.